Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BZCast. That is the BunnyZine cast. My name is Randy. I'm with BunnyZine.com. If you don't know what BunnyZine.com is, it is a e-magazine, a bunny e-magazine that is filled with a bunch of fun bunny stuff, stories on certain rescues, certain bunnies. It is pay what you want. You even download it for free or pay whatever dollar amount you pay. That's important because that goes to our featured rescue of the issue. Our featured rescue of the issue is our featured rescue of the issue of last month was HRS Chicago. We raised over $200 for them. Um, I have a very special guest with me today for the first ever BZcast. We're really excited. We'll talk more about BunnyZine after our guest is done. Um, I'll bring in our guest right now. She is the executive director with HRS Chicago, or I'm sorry, the HRS National Headquarters, excuse me, um, Adoption Education Center in Richmond, California. Hello, Ann.
Hey, Randy.
Hi. So, Ann, just talk with us about the rescue and what the certain responsibilities.
Absolutely. So, again, my name is Ann Martin, and I'm the executive director here at House Rabbit Society. Our national headquarters, actually international headquarters. We have 31 chapters in the United States and abroad, including Canada, Singapore, Italy, and Australia. And we have educators in almost every state in the country as well. We are here in the sunny San Francisco Bay Area. We're in the East Bay in Richmond, California. We were founded here. House Rabbit Society was founded in Alameda, which is just to the southwest. And we were founded in 1988, and it was a group of people that came together because they cared about rabbits, and they had companion rabbits, and wanted to find other people like them that cared about rabbits. So we were founded as a small group of people, and we've now grown to a very large organization with, members across the country and the world, which is fabulous. And we moved into this building in 2000. We have a rabbit shelter here in Richmond. We were the first all-rabbit shelter in the country when we moved in 2000, but now a number of our chapters also have their own facilities. So our San Diego chapter has a rabbit shelter, our Georgia chapter, our St. Louis chapter. So there are a number of all-rabbit facilities, shelters across the country at this point. So House Rabbit Society's mission is two-part. It's rescuing rabbits, but it's also doing education. So with the rescue piece of it, here at headquarters, we rescue exclusively rabbits off the euthanasia list of local shelters. We rescue rabbits from shelters across the San Francisco Bay Area and Northern California. And as soon as we have a rabbit who gets adopted or a rabbit goes out to a foster home, we're able to take in one of the rabbits off the euthanasia list who are on our urgent waiting list to come in. And so we have this rescue piece, and we also have the education piece. So a lot of people are familiar with our website, rabbit.org. We hear from people all the time that said, I got a rabbit and I had no idea how to care for them, and then I found your website, and everything was okay, and I knew to feed my rabbit hay, and I was doing everything wrong, and then I found rabbit.org, and it was a source that I could trust for really good information on how to take care of a rabbit. So rabbit.org is a great resource. We also have for our members, you can sign up as a member of House Rabbit Society, and it's $20 for the year. You get a membership card in the mail. You get the benefit of knowing that you're supporting an organization that is saving the lives of rabbits day in, day out. And you also get our House Rabbit Journal in the mail. And the journal covers topics, everything from health topics to behavior topics to care to whimsical features about what it's like to live with rabbits. So the rabbit.org website has great educational materials, and our journal has great materials. And then you can also contact your local chapter, and we have additional materials on our website. So one of the other things that we run at our national headquarters is we have two small grant programs. One is our emergency rescue grant, The other one is our chapter grant. So emergency rescue grants are small grants for rescue situations involving 20 or more rabbits. We've seen a number of large-scale confiscations where animal control will go into either a hoarding situation or a poor breeding situation, and they'll confiscate a bunch of rabbits. And then the rabbit rescues are trying to desperately, get them fixed quickly and find great homes for them and find other rescues who can help them. And so the emergency rescue grant is a tool that they can use to help in big situations like that. So we've got the application materials for that on our website, as well as for our chapter grants for House Rabbit Society chapters. If they have a big medical need, or if they have a capital project that they're taking on, or some other clearly defined project, they can apply for small grants as well. So we've got all of these kinds of pieces. So we're doing active rescue here at our headquarters with rabbits for adoption. We have between 35 and 40 rabbits at any given time. We have the same amount of rabbits also in foster homes, and we're always looking for new foster homes. Most of our fosters foster a bunny for 1 month. Some of them foster a bunny until they get adopted, and then take in another bunny to foster. But it can be just a 1 month commitment is fine.
Hey,
we also have a shop. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That brought up a good topic. I see this in the House Rabbit Society groups all the time as a topic of discussion. Just people in fan page groups. I think the one thing that people are afraid of at fostering is the attachment. If you know what I mean, like they get connected to them because they foster them for a good amount of time, and then someone adopts them, then they got to bring them back. What do you say to the people that are kind of afraid of that?
Yeah, well, I think it's not something to be afraid of. Certainly, rabbits who are coming to us, they need that love and they need that care. So it's a great thing to be attached and love your foster rabbit. For some people, they do decide that they love them enough that they want to adopt them and want to keep them. And for our fosters who start out as just a regular foster without intending to adopt the bunny and fall in love, we do waive the adoption fee for those folks. So, for folks who are kind of trying it out as a foster to adopt thing, it's still a regular adoption fee, and we'll do a foster to adopt of 2 weeks or 4 weeks. But if you're just starting out as a foster, and at some point you fall in love with that foster bunny and want to keep them, we do waive the adoption fee for those folks. For other folks, where they're kind of worried about it and they're like, I definitely don't want another rabbit, but I can help out a little bit, but I don't want to fall in love with them. Signing up for a 1 month foster might be a really great way to get started, because going into it, we sign you up for the day that you're going to bring the rabbit back when you take the bunny home. So on July 1st, the rabbit's going to come back to House Rabbit Society. So you kind of know the whole time. You just have a limited amount of time to get to know the bunny. So that can work really great for a lot of people. And then for people who foster with us longer term, they bring the bunny in at least once a month to be seen for adoption. So once a month, you're kind of reminded, okay, I got to bring them in, and somebody might fall in love with them today, or it might not be today. But just keeping that door open so other people can fall in love with them.
No, that's really, really good insight, and I think that it could answer a lot of people's question, that you can kind of put it into a time frame if
Exactly.
Yeah. Before we jump into the other topics, I was going to save this for last, but we talked about the fan questions, and we did have one person leave a comment, one question, and her name is Joyce Michelle Cohen, left a comment, and it was about bonding between her 2 male buns and then her bunnies, and then possibly adding a third, and then if a female would be a better fit. So it's more so the general question of like male and female bonding. What kind of insight can you provide for that?
Sure. So I would say almost half of our adoptions here at headquarters are bonds. So we do a lot of bonding here. And so the first thing about bonding is you want to make sure that all the bunnies are fixed. Because if they're not fixed, there are going to be hormonal behaviors and hormones getting in the way of them being able to be friends. So even if it's 2 males or two females, you still want everybody involved to be fixed first. So that's the first most important thing. And ideally, you want to introduce them once they've already been fixed for 3 to 4 weeks, because it gives time for their hormones to die down. So let's say that the two males are already bonded and they're already fixed. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it sounds like that's what's going on. So what we would recommend is for that person to bring the pair in, and then we would do speed dating to find a friend for them to be a trio.
Okay.
And I really like the social dynamics of trios. I think it's great. The rabbits really enjoy having companions. And then you also have the added benefit that should one of them pass away, they're never going to be left alone all by themselves, the one that's left, because if it's a trio, they're always going to have a friend. So I really like trios. I personally have had a number of trios in the past. I've had 2 males and a female. I've had 2 females and a male. I think it's possible to do all males or all females, but I think it's probably harder. So usually here with bonding, we try anywhere from 4 to 10 different rabbits to find the best match, because the easier the match is for bonding, the easier it is to get them bonded at home. So we want to start people off with the very best possible match. So I would bring the bonded pair of males to either House Rabbit Society or one of our chapters, or if there's not a chapter near you, looking on Pet Finder with your zip code to see rabbits in shelters and refuge near you, and choose a place that has a number of rabbits to pick from, and then go there to do the bonding. So the other thing about bonding is you want to do it in neutral space, so someplace where the rabbits don't currently live. If you have a bonded pair of rabbits and you bring a strange rabbit home, and you just hope that it works, it's going to be in their territory, and it's going to be harder to get them to be friends. So if you take the pair out to someplace that's neutral territory to do the dates, you have a better chance of it working. So with all that said, I think it's a great idea to add a third bunny to a pair, and I probably would try a female first, but I wouldn't necessarily only try females. If there are a bunch of rabbits to choose from, you could try a variety of different rabbits and see who the very best fit is.
Oh, okay. Thank you for all of that. That is also a lot of bonding detail. Yeah. No. And,
well, a lot of people have bonding questions.
Oh, of course. I mean, it could always go wrong if 2 don't get along. I know everyone kind of knows about Penny and Sheldon. The Penny and Leonard Facebook page. They got like over 10,000 likes. They're a wonderful page. That Leonard and Penny don't really get along, so like their posts are always separate and they're always separated. It's always just like an always mixed topic with bonding.
Yeah, and it's definitely easier to take care of 2 rabbits if they're bonded, because they share a litter box and they share solids, and they share their blankets, and all of that stuff is shared. So it's definitely easier if you can get your rabbits to be friends, but often that means taking them somewhere to do dates first.
Okay. We are going to dive into some not so friendly topics with Ant just for a few minutes. Bunnies have been in the news a lot lately, everyone, and they've gotten a lot of attention in the last month or so. I'll just kind of summarize everything, and then we'll get Ant's perspective. Everything, I think, has one connected link. There was the NBC-based story on Whole Foods kind of discovering that the Whole Foods sales, they were trying to say that people, there's a demand for it, when they're really, the numbers that NBC's investigative team uncovered weren't really true. There's other little mixed details, but I think for the most part that's what people got out of it. It's been this battle with Whole Foods has been so long, and we just want it to be over. There's over 50,000 signatures on these petitions. So then to lead in after that was the LCA undercover story, which I do not recommend anyone watching any of the images, videos. It's really, really graphic on a rabbitcruelty.com, but the petition is on there to press charges, even though the charges were dropped because there wasn't any known cruelty. petitions are still out there to keep this thing going. Um, I think the name of the warehouse was Pelfrey's. Uh, there was a Huffington Post story following that, um, that kind of summed that all up, and also talked about Iowa Rabbit, which was providing all the rabbits to this warehouse, the largest Pelfrey's. I'm sorry, and and that how it's not just not, you kind of get a feeling that the rabbits aren't just governmentally taken care of, um, aren't protected. It just seems like their laws aren't the same. That's what the big connection with all this story is. Even with the horrible story with the baby bunny from the DJ, everyone knows that which one I'm talking about. DJ, the Danish DJ. I'll just call him that. I don't even want to call him by his name. But it just seems like the laws aren't really backing them right now. So, and I know you're not directly involved in any of this, but what is the perspective that we can provide to where
Yeah.
what can we do to help, like with Congress, the government, even in a more global stage, just provide more protection and laws for bunnies?
Yeah. So, House Rabbit Society's philosophy is that rabbits shouldn't be exploited, and whether it's for meat or fur or food or any of these things, that rabbits should really be embraced as family members and companion animals who share our homes, and they should receive the same level of veterinary care that we would provide to our cats and dogs. So, for me, hearing all these stories is absolutely heartbreaking, because, we every day come into such close contact with all these wonderful rabbits, who many of whom come from really scary backgrounds, and they're able to, be rescued and come to House Rabbit Society, and then they find wonderful homes and they get the veterinary care that they require. But, in a lot of these situations, we're just hearing just horrible atrocities happening to rabbits. And part of this is that there is very little legal protection for rabbits. In the United States, rabbits are excluded from the Humane Methods of Slaughter Act.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so there are few, if any, legal protections for rabbits. So what we saw with the Last Chance for Animals video and situation is that industry was basically able to say these are standard operating procedures in the rabbit production industry, in the slaughterhouses, for any animals. These are kind of standard industry practices, and so it's not viewed as animal cruelty. And because rabbits are in our country, seen as both animals that can be raised as companion animals and animals that can be raised in these other ways. It's interesting because, dogs, it would be a clear case of cruelty if this was happening to a dog.
Exactly.
But because rabbits are both companion animals, and historically have been raised for meat, they're nowhere near the protections for them that there would be for cats or dogs. So, it's just absolutely heartbreaking when these stories come to light, because we know how wonderful these rabbits are, and we can only hope that if other people knew how wonderful they were, that they wouldn't want to eat them, that they wouldn't want to continue to perpetuate these horrible practices happening to them. So the NBC story, we were really proud of our friends at the Rabbit Advocacy group that they worked so hard to bring all this information to light about what's happening with Whole Foods, the Rabbit Advocacy Network. And as you mentioned, the petition has gotten over 50,000 signatures. You can go through the Rabbit Advocacy Network website, you can go through rabbit.org, and you can go look up Whole Foods and sign that petition to add your voice to all the many, many voices that are advocating for Whole Foods to stop carrying rabbit meat, because there's just absolutely no need for rabbits to be killed for food. There are many other things that people can eat that won't perpetuate this kind of cruelty. So we hope people will sign the petitions, as well as talk to your local manager at your local Whole Foods store. Leave comments on their bulletin board. Tell your friends. A lot of our friends, people will be shocked to hear that rabbits are being sold for meat there. We know so many people that just weren't even aware, and once they heard, they no longer shop there. So that's certainly an option. But if you do shop there, definitely tell the people working at the store how you feel about it. Like the news report mentioned, Whole Foods has claimed that the reason that they're doing this is because there's a demand for rabbit meat. But if we can show them that there is a larger demand for them to stop, at some point they have to listen. They just absolutely have to listen to their customers, and all the people who want to be customers accept for this. So I'm optimistic, even though it's taking much longer than we all hoped for them to stop. I'm still optimistic that they will stop killing rabbits for food at Whole Food stores. And we, in the very beginning, once this was announced, House Rabbit Society sent a letter, and we were very disappointed that our concerns were taken very lightly in the beginning, and we really hope that with everyone's voices put together, that this will end. And internationally, like with the case of the DJ in Denmark, the laws internationally are also not there to protect rabbits. Another area where rabbits are often exploited, that we don't necessarily see them or hear about it, is for household products, for cosmetics, for cleaning products. There's still rabbits used in testing all the time in our educational institutions and in government for research. So there are rabbits in all over the country that are in these kinds of facilities being used for research and product testing. So we can choose products that are not tested on animals, and that will be making a big impact for rabbits as well.
Yes, with all that, like that news, the negative news, there is, I think, light at the end of the tunnel to where it is garnering attention. Just to like a few seconds, there were some people actually petitioning, doing this out of a Chicago area, petitioning in the outside of Chicago hotel, where one of the Whole Foods executives was doing some kind of press conference thing, and people with HRS Chicago and the Bunnies United Network were outside, and they were stopping people, and people were like in shock. I just saw it on Facebook earlier today, actually, so I thought that was right on the nose with your point, that the news is spreading, people are getting it. Other places that have sold rabbit meat have taken it off their shelves and have stopped because of all the outlash.
Yeah, to name one company, Sprouts. When San Diego House Rabbit Society heard that they were going to be selling rabbit meat, they wrote letters to Sprouts, and the corporate offices, they retracted, and they said, no, we're going to stop, because of everyone's concerns, we are going to stop selling rabbit meat, and they did, and they've held firm on that commitment. So we know it absolutely can happen, and we've seen other progressive companies like Sprouts quickly take action on this.
Yes, so I think, like I said a minute ago, like with everything going on, that there is some light there's some hope for them with the attention that's being garnered. The bunny community, I applaud all of you guys with the petitions on Facebook, Twitter, on all these social medias. You guys have done a great job. Keep signing.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are continuing to protest at their local stores. We've done several actions at local stores, but there are a number of groups across the country that are protesting at local stores as well.
Yeah. That is all for me with Ann Martin today. I would like to thank Ann for being a very patient guest with the show. We had some technical difficulties yesterday as we tried to record, and was so gracious.
Yeah, I'm so happy to join and talk with all your BZ fans.
Awesome. We can't wait till we get this out to you guys. And thank you again. Hopefully we have you on again in the future. Hopefully we have you on again.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Thanks, Ann. Have a good night. So, alright, guys, I'm going to close out the show. I would like again to thank Ann Martin, the executive director of the HRS National Chapter in Richmond, California. She was really a gracious guest. We did have some really bad technical difficulties yesterday trying to set this up with Skype and bad phone connection, and she was like the sweetest lady. So, in closing, I'd like to thank you guys for listening. Don't visit BunnyZine.com and scroll down to current issue under the little tab. To download our current issue, meet the residents of the Fairy Castle Farm. Those are our featured bunnies for June's issue. We're also announcing that the HRS National Headquarters will be our featured rescue for the month of July. We're very ecstatic, big time, for that issue. So we can't wait to bring that to you, show that to you guys. And please again donate. Our donations go straight to the featured rescue of the month. Stay up on what's going on with BunnyZine. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are at official BunnyZine on Instagram. We are official BZine on Twitter, and then just BunnyZine on Facebook. Like and follow all those. We post a lot of awesome bunny stuff for you guys. You guys are the best. And also for updates on future issues and so forth. One also quick thing before we close out. BunnyZine was really close to ending due to some technical difficulties. And we would like to thank all of you guys, the fan pages, the development team that was spearheaded by Chris, to donate. And it was just like, I don't know, it only took maybe like a week or so to get all the money collected to help us start this up and keep this going again. You guys are awesome. We can't wait to bring you more of a variety. That is our new goal in BunnyZine. Podcasts / videos like this, and then other articles in the website. We're also working on that to bring you more side articles on the side of the website for you guys to read outside of the e-magazine. So again, I would like to thank all of you guys for tuning in, and again, follow those social media pages for more updates on what we're